Hi guys, this is Bill from Spencer1984.com, and today we're taking a look at the third and final kit in Revell's Blacktop Warrior series, Pink Poison. And for anybody who may have missed the previous two kits, Alley Rat and Killer Bee, I will be including a link in the description down below, so you can check those out. And like those two other kits, Pink Poison is based on an existing Revell tooling, in this case their Jeep Honcho kit. And while the Honcho didn't really have any variations, especially compared to the Alley Rat kit, there was one pretty major change here, and that was the kit's name. When these were released at the beginning of 2001, this kit was originally called Mr. Dead Wrench. And for those of you who don't know, Mr. Good Wrench was the primary sponsor of Dale Earnhardt Sr., who died on the final lap of the 2001 Daytona 500 in February. So the name of that kit quickly became in very poor taste, and Revell changed it to what you see here. You can still find some Mr. Dead Wrench kits occasionally on eBay and the like, but Pink Poison is the one that you'll much more frequently see. So with that, let's take a look at it. And we've got the story of the Blacktop Warriors and the little bit of information about Pink Poison here. Got the dystopian box art repeated on both ends. And just like with the other two, you've got the alternate views here. Inside the kit, first we got our decal sheet, and this is probably the weakest of the three, if only for the glass and the fact that they have it in what appears to be opaque white. Unlike Killer Bee, they actually have glass holes instead of metal bullet holes, but that white opaque is not correct. But other than that, you got the sides with skull and crossbones, the lights, and the X'd out former life. You've got a couple of markings here that are crossed out. Got a big skull and crossbones there. Some smaller ones there. You got the target for the roof, as well as the driving lights. And like with all kits in this series, you've got the various crossed out street signs. Got the instructions here that repeat everything that was on the box, along with the black and white version of the box art. Got your standard Revell instructions. And like with the rest of the series, they're just a basic exploded diagram with the decal placement on the last page. Unlike those kits though, this one has no chrome, which is probably a good thing considering that the chrome was one of the weakest parts of both Alley Rat and Killer Bee. But do have the glass here, and that looks nice and clean. Do have a little bit of a scuff mark on it, but none of the distortion that we saw with Alley Rat. That's nice. Got the main body, which is all one piece, other than the grille and hood and tailgate. But molding on it looks pretty good. Got some nice detail there on the front fender, a pretty sharp badge. Need to do a little bit of cleanup of seams there, but for the most part, Revell did a nice job of hiding them along natural body brake lines. Some nice sharp casting in the box there. First sprue has the inner wheels, the seats with pretty nice textured pattern on those. A little bit of flash on them, but not too bad. And the hood. Again, that looks pretty clean. So we got the grill. Beginning of the suspension and drivetrain, engine, mirrors, the rest of the drivetrain, engine and radiator bulkhead, antenna, and again, detail looks pretty good on these. We've got actual Jeep badges on the valve covers. Radiator detail looks pretty good, and they've actually got detail on both sides of it. Next up, we've got the roll bar. The fire extinguisher here. I just saw it was open on the back side. That's too bad. I got a toolbox. Got the grill guard. Got some jerry cans finally. This is the only kit in the series that has the wasteland appropriate extra gas cans. But at least you do get a couple with this. Got the chassis with a molded in spare tire. Front and rear bumpers. The full exhaust system all in one shot. Some shocks. More engine components. And yeah, once again, so far this is looking to be the cleanest kit of the series. It's got a little bit of flash here on the exhaust pipe and some ejector pin marks to clean up on that, but otherwise not bad. And the last sprue has the outer wheels, the rear window louvers, tailgate, steering column, the back of the box, and the dashboard. And some pretty nice engraving on the dashboard. You can actually see the numbers and dials on the gauge faces. The taillights are not really that great looking, being molded in, but at least the detailing on them is pretty sharp, so you could either paint them, or with the Blacktop Warrior series, you could probably drill them out entirely. I did have the steering wheel fall off the sprue, but again, a little bit of cleanup, but not too bad. Certainly not near as bad as some things that I've seen. And finally, we got 4 Goodyear tires. And you can see that there's a little bit of flash on them. That's probably the worst of the 4. But even that, this is on the inside without the sidewall detail. So those are not bad looking. A little bit of cleanup, a little bit of sanding, and they'll be fine. And so there you go. That's all 3 kits of the Blacktop Warrior series. It was a neat idea. It's kind of a shame that they didn't continue it for longer. But no reason why you couldn't take other kits of Revell's or anybody and expand it further if you wanted to. This is probably the simplest of the 3 kits as far as the amount of work that you'll need to do on it, because it's generally pretty clean. There's no chrome that you got to clean up. And the glass looks pretty good. And the fact that it's the most stock of the 3, being just pretty much a straight up Jeep poncho, no custom hood, no dune buggy design. You could use this kit for just a standard build, Revell is going to be reissuing their Jeep Honcho kit, I believe, early next year. So this will be back out in stores then. And I'm definitely going to be picking up another one. And in the meantime, as with the other two kits in this series, I plan on building this to look more or less like the box art. This one probably more than the other two, because, again, it's Jeep Honcho. It's ready to go as is. So that's it for those three. Right now, all of my workbench projects are trying to clean up as much as I can before the end of the year, because hard as it is for me to believe, it's already in December. So I will have another update next week on what I'm working on, and you can check back then. Thanks for watching.